Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Times Now, and I'm Meghna Deka. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive, where we are going to tell you just how terrorism in any form is condemnable. Of course, not one life should be lost to terror. But in the what we have seen, the ongoing conflict, Pakistan has crossed all boundaries of calling itself a nation with a so-called disciplined army. We'll tell you how behind the bluff, bluster and bravado, what hides is nothing short of cowardice. In fact, right now, you saw the Foreign Secretary of India, Vikram Misri. He briefed the media about Pakistan's misadventures last night and how it pounded India, at least tried to pound India with shells. Well, the government has revealed that Pakistani army shelled a convent school in Poonch. It also killed 2 of the students there. That is the true face of Pakistani army, killing unarmed civilians, and this includes 2 young students in a convent school as well. This is the truth about the Pakistani army. Now, this is the same Pakistani army that, remember, has also attacked a Gurudwara just 2 days back, have killed an innocent woman last night as well. This was 40-year-old Nargis Begum, a resident of Poonch. And do you know how she was killed? She was killed by a sniper bullet. And that is the true face of Pakistan, the way it is too afraid to fight our braves at the border. Instead, they resort to cowardice and targeting unarmed civilians. Watch what the Foreign Secretary had to say.
During heavy shelling across the line of control in the early morning of 7th May, a shell fired from Pakistan landed just behind the Christ School run by the Carmelites of Mary Immaculate congregation in Poonch. Tragically, the shell fired from Pakistan hit the home of 2 students of the Christ School. Both students unfortunately lost their lives and their parents were severely injured. Another Pakistani shell struck a Christian convent of nuns belonging to the congregation of the Mother of Carmel, damaging water tanks and destroying solar panel infrastructure. Several priests, nuns, school staff and local residents took refuge in an underground hall beneath the Christ School during the shelling by Pakistan.
Well, if that did not cross all boundaries of humanity, then watch this. When India retaliated to Pakistan last night, the neighboring country actually kept their airspace open and even used civilian aircrafts for cover. Yes, that's right. The drones of Pakistan, the bullets of Pakistan, the ammunition, the shells which were used, the artillery of Pakistan was used to target not the braves, but civilians in India. Watch this.
Pakistan did not close its civil airspace despite it launching a failed unprovoked drone and missile attack on 7th May at 8:30 hours in the evening. Pakistan is using civil airliners as a shield, knowing fully well that its attack on India would elicit a swift air defense response. This is not safe for the unsuspecting civil airliners, including the international flights which were flying near IB between India and Pakistan.
So you just heard, Pakistan not just pounded civilians in India, targeted civilians in India, even snipers were targeting civilians in India. They used civilian airplanes as well as human shields. Meanwhile, this is the same Pakistani and the government which is going through an existential crisis back home. Why do we say that? Well, what we are getting you is how Pakistan's turned into a memistan. Yes, that's right. People in Pakistan themselves are trolling the Pakistani government. You have some memes there. You have Noman Shah who says, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is looking underconfident and weak. This is not a good look, just saying. Then you have Karachi Port Trust officials saying that this account was hacked and Karachi Port is safe and secure because that is the state that the entire nation is, where their own ports are getting accounts of their official handles are now getting hacked. In fact, you also have Faye, who has said, जितनी शहबाज शरीफ की बोलने की स्पीड है, इस हिसाब से तो जंग खत्म भी हो जाएगी और इनकी स्पीच खत्म ही नहीं होगी. They are essentially just comments coming in about Shehbaz. Perhaps it's the frustration of people who are in Pakistan who are wondering, why is the Pakistani government and the army busy shielding Hafiz Saeed, trying to ensure that he is safe? They have been shifting him across. Now he is there in the Lahore cantonment area, as per sources. Of course, the Pakistani army is also busy protecting Masood Azhar, the Jaish chief. Yes, that's right. Sources tell us that the Pakistani army and the ISI has increased and escalated the security cover that they are going to give to a dreaded terrorist. But on the flip side, their own Janta are left running for cover. Meanwhile, forget about inflicting some pain on India. Pakistan is unable to even control its own resources and keep them safe. In fact, sample some of what has been coming in. As I was telling you, that first you had this initial post which came up from the Karachi Port Trust. It said, and I'm going to quote it here, Karachi Port has sustained heavy damage following a strike by India, resulting in unacceptable loss of property. Emergency response efforts are currently underway. Updates on restorations will be provided regularly. We stand resilient. And this, remember, is the Karachi Port Trust official handle which is coming in. But then right after that, you have this explanation which is coming in, saying that the account was hacked. Karachi Port is safe and secure. This was a post which was put out. The first post came out at 11:43 a.m. on 9th of May, which was earlier today. At 12:40 p.m., you had this clarification coming in. So they can't even keep their own account safe. Many are saying, how will they possibly ensure the safety of their civilians? Let me go across to Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, who's joining us, a defense expert. Also joining us today on the show, Squadron Leader Varlin Panwar, who is also a defense expert. General Saab, I'm going to be coming to you first. Of all the statements which have been coming in on Pakistan, from within Pakistan, and also from the Pakistani Prime Minister himself, we'll just get to that in a bit. What is very disturbing is what Vikram Misri has just said, that Pakistan was using civilian planes as human shields. That really is the difference between an Indian army and the Pakistani army, where cowardice is in the very DNA of Pakistan, would you say?
Absolutely, without fail. Pakistan, how else? Because imagine we closed our airspace, everybody else did, trying to save the civilians so that the airspace, irrespective of the losses that we might suffer, we ensured that there would be no airlines flying. Instead, Pakistan just did the reverse, using the civilian airlines to bring in there so that we don't target their airfields with a view to ensure that they just don't bring civilians, but they will be also bringing in drones. They might be bringing so much of the military equipment along so that they can push it. Pakistan is known to be all of deceit at all times. Pakistan can never be a straight nation. It's a nation which is a rogue nation and uses terrorism as an instrument of state policy. It has in its blood, the DNA is to hate India. And the entire, I would say, the foundation of the Pak army, their thinking is how best to put India down. That's it. They have nothing more. That's the reason why they aren't developing. That's the reason why they aren't growing. That's the reason why the world over they're known as hub of terror. Why is it?
Absolutely.
Despite being Mrs. Clinton, and America was once upon a time the best friend, as much as we talk of China. That the Chinese today, of course, they keep saying that the friendship is higher than the Himalayas and deeper than the ocean and sweeter than the honey. At one time, the Americans, it was Army, Allah, and America. And what did they tell them? They advised them for a very simple reason, that if you have snakes in your backyard and you have them as your pets thinking they'll go and bite the neighbors, don't worry, they will one day bite you also. This is what is happening. They're not victims of terrorism, they're perpetrators of terrorism. And this deceit, this kind of, I would think this would never come to our mind as an Indian, that we could be doing this, use civilians as a shield. But we've seen it. You've seen in so many kind of protests, even in Jammu and Kashmir, I've seen it, how women are used, children are used, civilians are used as shield. So I think somewhere down the chain, we do need to be careful that Pakistan is not a normal state. It's a state which is built on deceit, deceive, and destroy. They say in Hindi, na, hum to doobe sanam, tumhe bhi le doobenge. This is what Pakistan is all about.
Absolutely. This is what Pakistan is all about, and it's not just India saying it. Listen in to their own Prime Minister, the kind of admissions which are coming in. I believe we have the Defence Minister of Pakistan who has come out, Khwaja Asif has come out, and he has said that, yes, indeed, for us, the madrasas are the second line of defence. And it's not just madrasas. He specifically says madrasas and the students in the madrasas are going to be the second line of defence. For India, our army is standing there as steadfast soldiers, a shield which is going to protect its civilians. But across in Pakistan, on the other side of the border, you have civilians being used as cannon fodder. And this is not us saying it. This is Pakistan's own defence minister. Watch this.
जहाँ तक मदारस के स्टूडेंट्स का ताल्लुक है, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है कि वो हमारी एक सेकंड डिफेंस लाइन है. वहाँ पे नौजवान जो पढ़ते हैं, अल्लाह के फजल से वो दीन के साथ भी जो है आरास्ता हैं, और उसके साथ जो है वो उनके जो वक्त ज़रूरत जो है, जिस तरह उन्होंने फरमाया कि उनको शहरी दफा के लिए या दूसरी ज़रूरतों के लिए जो है ना बिल्कुल 100% इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है. इस वक्त हमारी अफवाज जो हैं, जनाब डिप्टी स्पीकर.
In fact, let me go across to squadron leader Varlin Panwar. How do you even look upon a state where you have the own defense minister who's coming out and saying, yes, for us, madrasa students are the second line of defense. The man who is perhaps responsible for the 2 students, the convent students, who were killed in that strike by Pakistan when one of the missiles exploded very close to a school. A 40-year-old woman being shot dead by a sniper. This is the outcome of a man who today comes out and says, back home in Pakistan, for him, civilians are the second line of defense.
Meghna Deka, if you see, it should not come as a surprise to us. We are victim of their cheap tactics for I don't know how many years, more than 3 decades now. It is so common and so expected out of this country to put anyone and everyone in the line of fire to save their face and to save their image at global platform. You know, when their defense minister makes remark like this, that madrasas are our second line of defense, let's not forget who are these people who are going to become second line of defense. These are all kids who are not trained but brainwashed. I'll repeat my word, brainwashed. They are all brainwashed to die for religion. Okay, they don't have a purpose. They have been tuned into it that what they are doing is going to give them Jannat one day. So this type of tactics is very much expected. And let's not forget, you know, why are we having this state of affair with Pakistan today? Because we tried to neutralize their militant terrorist camps. And what have they done? Their reaction is to target our civil population and our military bases. So this is very much expected. To be very frank, I'm not shocked. I was expecting, and just wait and watch. This is just the beginning. They'll come up with new and worse tactics.
In fact, one of the things that Vikram Misri has said, that they have turned it into a communal spin also, which has been given by Pakistan. They have specifically targeted, or at least put out rumors of targeting Gurudwaras as well. They talk about targeting specific religions as well, which we have seen in Pahalgam also. And I absolutely agree with you. No surprises there. Let me go across to Lieutenant General Kulkarni. There you have it, the truth of Pakistan by Pakistan. This memistan that it turns out to be every day in the assembly. But the frustration of the people is genuine, isn't it? General Saab, at the end of it, imagine the plight of the people in Pakistan, where the government is busy ensuring that Hafiz Saeed is safe, that Azhar Masood is safe. But no one's doing anything, lifting a finger to to protect the people of Pakistan?
Meghna, before I come to that, let me also tell you in this legislator before the clip that you said that he's saying that the civilians are the second line of defense. You know how much they try and bring in a divide amongst people in India between the Muslims and the rest of the communities in India, because Musharraf, this legislator said second line of defense. Musharraf said Indian Muslims are the first line of defense. He said it is not my nuclear bombs, it's not the army, it's not anybody else. The Indian Muslims are the first line of defense for Pakistan. Imagine, this is what Musharraf openly used to say, because he wanted to bring in a divide between the communities
The
in India.
two-nation theory.
This is the kind of deceit, this is the kind of mindset that these people have. And rightly so, this legislator who's now saying that most of them, what did the President Chief of the Army Staff Munir, who I call him Hafiz Munir rather than Asim Munir, what did he say? When he was addressing the NRIs, that please go abroad, please leave this country, make money,
Absolutely.
and do proud and be our ambassadors. This is exactly, none of their chiefs, none of their generals stay in Pakistan. They amass wealth. They have a business which has a turnover of over $30 billion, not millions.
Asim
billion
Munir, that
dollars a year.
Pakistani general's own family has been flown off in a private jet as per sources to London. And that's the truth. These are the generals who abandoned the sinking ship. Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I appreciated a lot Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni for joining us on the show, as well as Squadron Leader Bharat Panwar. Well, as we have been discussing, for Pakistan, it seems to be endgame. Perhaps that is why we've seen the desperation which is prompting them to not fight the braves at the border, but to target civilians in their homes and schools. Well, with that, a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll return in 2 minutes.